All right, good morning. My name is Charles, and I'm a co-founder, CEO of MemVerge. It's great to be here with really my colleagues and my comrades in this venture into AI memory. I want to share my perspective, maybe one perspective of what AI memory is and why I think it is important for the agentic AI revolution. Okay, so first of all, it's something that everyone knows that large language model is becoming the new computer. Before, when we have a problem, we give it to a computer, our laptop, our PC, our server, or a supercomputer, and it will compute and give us the results. And that's the world we've been used to for the last 60 years or so. And in the last few years, we are adapting to another mode, which is when we have a problem, instead of having a computer, instead of writing programs and letting computers answer, we ask a model, and model will give us the results. So from that perspective, model is a new computer. It is there to answer questions, to solve problems for us. And to do that, we have agents and assistants that are really digital colleagues for us to help us using the models to give us the right answers. And while all these new computation are happening, there's data being generated, just like the old computer. When the old computer computes, there's data being generated, and then it needs to be saved somewhere. And those data can be further used for further computation later on. And with this AI as a computer, there are also data being generated. These are the data generated by the model, agents, or by the users. Now, these data needs to be stored somewhere too, if you want to remember them. And model itself cannot remember by design. In fact, it's a problem if the model can't remember during the inference, then you lose all the privacy of your data when you're using the model to do so. So there needs to be a separate system that sort of a new database or a new storage for the data that the AI generates. And in my point of view, that system is AI memory. So AI memory is the new data platform for the AI generated data. And this is now responsible for remembering them and recalling them at the right time so that the right context can be delivered to the model at the right time. And context is very important for the accuracy and personalization of the AI responses from models to those questions. And so the memory will need to do that. Now you might ask, why couldn't we just use a classic storage or classic database to do so? And in our point of view, and I think probably all of your point of view, that this requirement for this AI memory is quite different from the classical databases or data stores. Just like human memory, the memory is a living thing. It's something that's active. It's something that's intelligent. It is not just something you store and retrieve. Those are not only put and get. Those are not the only two actions you have with your memory. But rather, it is something that's constantly evolving. It has a life of its own. It decays. It consolidates, and it reorganizes itself through other relations and connections. So it is a living thing by itself. It is active, and that's something that the storage of database are not. And those are just put and get are the only thing you do. Like you add memory or you search, but memory itself in the AI world is actually an agent in itself. It is something that is autonomous. That's something that is proactive. And over time, this memory machine, in a way, that can proactively learns and adapts and really retains the institutional knowledge, whether it is for an enterprise, whether it is for other organizations, or whether it's for individuals, that forms the essence of what that enterprise knows. And I think over time, AI generated data will become the majority of all data. And this is a different type of data, and they will be stored in AI memory, and therefore make AI memory the most valuable asset to any institutions or enterprises or individuals. Our memory is what makes Charles, Charles. And I believe the AI memory for enterprise A is what's going to make the enterprise A the enterprise A. So this is over time going to be the most valuable essence of an organization. Models and agents come and go. Nowadays, when we talk to enterprise customers, there are hundreds or thousands of agents being written everywhere. Every group within enterprises try to reposition themselves as an agent team. And there are hundreds of agent teams in a large enterprise, and they are all developing agents on themselves, and these agents will evolve. There's really a sprawl of all these agents that's emerging. And AI memory will also serve as a common data fabric that all these agents, all these models behind these agents can share, so that you can, put in a common fabric that can connect to this sprawl of agents that are happening today and continue happening tomorrow. Okay, so that's a particular angle into AI memory. There are certainly other angles into it. It can make the models perform better. It can make the agents easier to develop. It has many other benefits, but this is one perspective that we believe AI memory will form the data underpinning of the AI-centric world that are coming. And that makes this event significant. I think we are the early explorers in this world. And that's also the reason we would like to invite all the folks that we can find who are also working in this field. Because I think this is going to be a huge field, and it's going to take the effort of all of us to make this happen sooner rather than later. And we can collaborate together in this, not only in information sharing, but potentially in the standards creation or benchmark creation, so that we can together advancing this field forward. Okay, now the industry is also, there are announcements happening everywhere, from the big companies to many of the startups like us. The OpenAI, with GPT-5 and GPT-6 that they are forecasting, are putting a lot of emphasis on the memory they are creating. Claude is catching up and announcing various memory features. Google has a big announcement this week, and Gemini is having various memory features introducing as well. Now, these are all separate systems from the models, from the flagship models they have, but they are integrated part of their service, and it's tightly coupled to their model. And I think probably not for technical reasons, but for other reasons, their memory systems would only support their own models. This will make the user experience better with their models, and this will also make the user more sticky to their models. Some of you and myself probably have the experience. Once you have the memory built, the experience, the connection you have with the model will be much closer than without the memory. But that, I think, does leave room for the other players, because I think this memory needs to be converged. I don't want to have 100 different pieces of memories if I'm using 100 different AI services. I just want to have one. I want it to know me. I want it to capture data from all the AI services I use so they can benefit from each other. And I want my memory to belong to me, not belong to one of those services. And I think that's something we could build, whether it's as open source or as a product or service that's really giving the owner of the memory the control to the memory they have, rather than relinquish that control to the particular models. And then there are other news from various sources and people are predicting a huge market here that is being created. And it is because of this, in MemVerge, we started 8 years ago working on memory-centric infrastructure. We were at lower level trying to build an infrastructure, leveraging some emerging new hardware. And over the last couple of years, we have pivoted our attention to this field of AI memory. And we've been making a project, open source project called Project MemMachine. And this is our effort in attacking the AI memory problem. And it is available on GitHub. We open sourced it a few weeks ago. And here is a simplistic block diagram describing what's included in that project. And this blue box is our memory system, and it is accessible by various models, agents, assistants, or directly by users through various APIs or interfaces. It has an MCP server that can be visited directly by models or by agents or by other software. It has an HTTP and HTTPS endpoint that speaks RESTful API that can also be called by any other piece of software. It's also a Python SDK that can be integrated with your agents and your applications directly. And within the memory system, that we have 3 pieces of memory. 2 of these are available today. The other piece we are still working on, and we haven't open sourced yet. The first piece is episodic memory, and this is where you remember the events, the episodes, and how do you organize them into memory entities and creating the right relations between the entities so that the right episodes or right memory entities can be recalled to deliver the context for all future queries. And within episodic, we have 2 modules. One is the short-term working memory, and this is all stored into DRAM. And this is meant to remember the most recent episodes for immediate retrieval for the more recent events. And then we have a long-term memory that is persistent, and that captures all the past episodes. And we would this is a living machine. We would dynamically organize them and reorganize them and consolidate them over time, and so that they are easier. They are easy to retrieve when we need to find the most relevant entities to any queries. And then we have the second piece of the profile memory. And we actually are shipping a version 0.2 next week. And it's going to generalize profile memory into semantic memory. So profile memory is a special kind of semantic memory where it extracts good attributes from all the episodes. So it's kind of a summarization or a projection from these episodes to particular dimensions and particular attributes. And in particular, profile memory is to enable the personalization of AI services. You can use profile memory to build portraits of any of the users, whether it is internal employees or whether it's external clients, so that allow you to be more personalized in the service that agents can deliver to internal and external users. And the third component is procedural memory. And this is a memory of the procedures or of the workflows. And that is a sequence of actions that captures how certain tasks to be done. You know, an early primitive form of procedures is like closed scales, if you're familiar with that. That was announced maybe a month ago. And that's kind of the primitive form, and now they're more advanced form, and there needs to be better management of all these procedures. And I think this can directly contribute to the productivity boost within the enterprise. And procedural memory is something we are still working on, and that's not available in the open source project yet. But the other two pieces are there. We are only at the beginning of journey. It's like 0.1, and we are continuing to improve it. You'll see a big boost next week with our 0.2. We also included a couple agents within our memory, and those are the orange boxes on the top. The data ingestion agent is responsible for connecting to all the data sources and to ingest them into various memories that we have, so that the memory can be enriched, not only from all the chat history or the user agent or agent user model interactions, but also potentially from user interactions. So for example, we have built connectors to Slack, to emails, to meeting transcripts, so that you can capture all those episodes into the memory system as well. The second agent is context retrieval agent. And the context retrieval agent is responsible for when you see a query, that you can translate that query into subqueries, into different pieces of memory, or potentially into other context sources like RAG systems, where many enterprises have them today. And it is then responsible for assembling them together to form the overall context enrichment to queries. And so this can be done by just adding it within the context window, or to be queried by models directly through its reasoning steps through the MCP server. And we have very early primitive forms of these two agents today, and we are actively working to advance them. And we believe these will be key modules to enable an overall context engineering system. So that's a overview of the, yes, please. Yes, so this whole layer is software only, and it can be deployed anywhere. It can be deployed in the cloud, AWS, our co-host here. It can be deployed on the cloud. It can be deployed in your own data center. It can be deployed on your own laptop. It can potentially deploy in your phone as well. So this is a software layer that can be deployed anywhere. And I didn't draw here, we do use some databases underneath as well that help us as sort of really the storage for these memory entities and for these profiles.
You can use this, and then it should be in.
Yeah, and the working memory runs on top of DRAM, and persistent memory runs really on top of persistent storage. And it can be any of them. Yes.
If this language agnostic, so for example, if the majority of my customers data are not English, would that work?
Yeah, yeah, it's a language agnostic, so it can be any of the languages. When we first asked the question, I was thinking it's programming language, but programming language also, the Python SDK will be only for Python, but the other APIs, Python is the most popular, but it can support the other languages, other programming languages as well. But in terms of data, today it does support any kind of text data, whatever is the language. We do not support, multimodal data yet, but those will be coming also, and those will be important, such as voice or pictures or videos, and I think those will be important part of the memory also. But we are only at the beginning of this journey. And we are certainly not the only one doing it. I think there are many comrades, or maybe they're better word for that, you know, people who share the same vision here and who are building it, and these are some of the results we gathered from the published materials of the benchmark using a benchmark for Locomo. And that seems to be a popular benchmark with all the people who are working on memory. Actually, I forgot to change the typo because our latest 0.1.9 is achieving the state of art in terms of local performance. As you see, some of the other players, they will probably publish new data to continue to elevate their performance as well. But from the ones we gathered from the published material, we saw that OpenAI is about 52%. So how this benchmark works is it feeds 10 long conversations into the memory system, and then it generates about 1,900 questions. It would ask the model, which is integrated with that particular memory system. If it doesn't have a memory, it only will get very small percentage of those questions correctly. But with the memory system, now it can answer more of them correctly. So the OpenAI answered about 52% correctly, and the MN with the memory system for LangChain about 58%. And there are other companies, some of them will be presenting today, MemZero, Zeta, Zap, MemVerge. The numbers they have is, what I got is 66 to 75%. They probably have newer and better numbers as we make progress. I think when we launched the project in September, we published numbers at 84.87%. And in the last couple of months, with our new improvement, our latest performance is 93.25%. And from the numbers that we have seen, I think this is a state of art in the episodic memory performance. We do see a new announcement from last weekend from Evermind, and who I think will be presenting today. They are publishing 92.3%, which is a very good result as well. So I think now this is just one of the benchmarks. There are other benchmarks that are existing, and I believe there's room for more benchmarks to be created to explore deeper aspects of memory, and that's an area I think the industry can come together to advance, so that we have a common framework. How do we make progress on the actual memory system that we build? Okay, now I will end my presentation with a demo. So this is a demo of a MemMachine system at work in a typical enterprise environment, which is our focus. And our objective is to build this system for the enterprises that's within their control, either deployed in their own virtual private cloud, AWS, or any other cloud systems, and or into their own data center. And there'll be users using it, and in this demo, it'll be Charles. I'll be the enterprise user here. And we have integrated with various data sources, like emails and Slacks and meeting transcripts. And we also have integrated with two of the most common super agents. One is maybe the most common super agent, that's the ChatGPT, the chatbot that OpenAI built. That we have integrated with that, and we have also integrated with Flow desktop. That's actually gaining, perhaps is even more popular than ChatGPT within the enterprise environment. It is particularly good for coding, as well as some other professional tasks, such as creating PowerPoints, etc. So we actually think it's a very common scenario for a typical worker like Charles to use more than one models and more than one agents for my daily work. And in this case, so here is a demo scenario I'm going to. So I am a typical knowledge worker in enterprise. I like to use ChatGPT for general tasks, which is quite common, but I do like Flow for specific professional tasks, coding, PowerPoint, and other things. Now the task I got is I needed to prepare a presentation next week. with a customer, Apex Tech. It's a made up name. With a particular customer. And how I go about it doing it is I first work with ChatGPT. And ChatGPT is powered by MemMachine behind. And so it will be able to retrieve the relevant information from my memory system about Apex Tech, from all the meeting minutes and emails and Slack conversations that we had about this customer, as well as from past AI chat logs or chat history about them, and it will be able to summarize them, deliver me the information about the customer. It will remember things about the product I'm going to present, and it's also going to remember about me. So it's the profile memory gonna deliver what is Charles like, what do I like, what type of slides I like to make and what type of flow I like to follow. And all those information will be automatically served as context into models, and model will be able to generate, in this case, OpenAI model will be generating a presentation outline for me. But I don't like ChatGPT for the actual PowerPoint. It's actually not, it's not good at that. So then I will bring up my Claude desktop, and now Claude, all those conversations with GPT is automatically real-time captured by MemMachine memory system. And Claude will be able to use that interaction, give me some additional advices, and actually go ahead and generate a PowerPoint. So this shows a typical scenario where a knowledge worker like myself can use multiple agents, multiple models, or connect it through an AI memory fabric to getting a task done very easily. Yes.
So when you use the ChatGPT, right, based off the MemMachine, do your interactions feed back to the memory?
Yes. Yeah, when we are actually using the ChatGPT, those interactions are automatically in the background being remembered by that. Yes, and now let me show the video here. All right, so let's see. I think it should be playing. So sorry, the text is pretty small, but I basically ask you to creating a presentation, and to recall what you can remember about the customer. Okay, it goes out, well, here they will remember about the customer, the key people, the pain point they have, et cetera, and then it remembers about the product, the product I'm presenting, what it recalls from the memory, and then it recalls about me, my styles and so on. But it does ask me a few more questions in order for it to create this presentation. And so now I'll give the answers to these questions, the meeting purpose, design tone, length, how many slides, etc. Okay, now the OpenAI models with all these information can generate a slide outline here. The slide one has the context, challenge, the insight, the solution, etc. It create an 8-slide presentation and business impact, why now, next steps. Okay, that's great. I like it. But I don't really like ChatGPT to do my actual slide work. So I go to Claude desktop, and this is the question. The Claude, so I say, do you remember what I just created? It says, okay, I do see it, and let me retrieve it from memory. So Claude is also powered by MemMachine, the same MemMachine instance that's connected to ChatGPT, and it remembers those 8 slides. Each slide is different formats, but it captures the key information about those 8 slides. Here are the other information you remember from the memory, the key context there, and then I ask for a second opinion here now, and I think many of us do. Sometimes we ask multiple models to a second opinion. So I said, okay, would you have any suggestion, any improvement you can make to this outline? It says, okay, I have five suggestions. Something is missing, something is too abstract. And here are some suggestions I have. Now it's up to me to decide what of those suggestions I take, which one I don't take. And in this example, I say, great. But just go with the number one, the first suggestion, and ignore the rest, and go ahead and create the PowerPoint. So now Claude goes to work, and it will take a second. And in fact, it took about 10 minutes So for it to work through it, then we fast forward a bit, and to actually create the slide here. So you'll see it's creating actually nine slides here, as we have taken one suggestion from it. And voila, you have the slides it's created. And this is a seamless process where you use multiple agents powered by different models, but connected to a common converged memory system that can deliver the output you need. And this is a simple example, pretty common scenario. I think all of us do that sometimes. There are many other common scenarios where a common converged AI memory fabric can enable this multi-agent collaboration to happen seamlessly. Okay. All right, so that's the example I have, and then as you see, there's many use cases for something like this. You know, whether you're creating assistants to various roles, whether it's executives, creative content creators, or whether you're serving external clients, financial advices or customer support, a memory system is quintessential in delivering the state-of-the-art agents for these purposes. So try it out. Here is the barcode for the project, and this will connect you to GitHub, to our playground, to other resources, documentation, and so on about the project. That will dive into much more details than my presentation. And we also have a team here that you can scan this to schedule a meeting that can happen today. We have a room one-on-one with our team to learn more about the memory. And for those folks on the Zoom, you know, you can also use this to schedule meetings with us to dive into more details. So thank you very much.